Well, welcome back to my series on expert tips for entrepreneurs who work from home with my latest entrepreneur friend, Kim Merritt. Kim is a busy military wife and mom who works 2 online businesses from home. And you're going to love how she works in a digital world, helping her clients, and how she works mostly from her phone. She has 2 very creative workspaces, and you will want to check out the one tool she uses to connect with over 6,500 people on a daily basis. She has a great social media strategy you'll love, and most of all, the way she uses her family calendar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Gail Bates, and I've been an entrepreneur working from home for over 20 years. I specialize in helping busy entrepreneurs navigate the challenges of overwhelm and time management in running a successful business from home in today's fast-paced business world. And I'm bringing you this series because I believe entrepreneurs who work from home are goal setters, they work with productivity systems, and they're the most organized and productive people I know. So I'd love you to take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and of course, don't forget to hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload videos. Okay, here's Kim's great advice. Get ready to take good notes. Hey, Kim. So great to see you here today. I want to welcome you and thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us about how you work from home as an entrepreneur, which is what this series is all about. So I want to really get stuck into it right away with asking you the first question on, I know you're a busy mom, you run your business and your kids are really active, and I'd love to know, what does your daily routine look like? How is it crazy, or how do you manage it?
It's like organized chaos, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, genuinely, generally my daily routine looks a little bit different sometimes every day. A little bit about my family is like, my husband is a firefighter in the Air Force. So we have a crazy schedule with him that is non-negotiable, that is not flexible in any way, shape, or form. And then I do have 2 kids that I homeschool, and one of them is a competitive gymnast. So her schedule is also pretty tight, So I tend to be the flexible one. which is good. It's good. But my days, they really all look a little bit different, but I love the phrase flexible, not optional, so there are days when I will go to bed early and I'll wake up at 5:30 and I'll knock out, a couple of hours of work that I would like to do in peace and quiet. But one thing that usually stays pretty consistent is about 3 to 5 days a week, I do block out my kids' electronics time in the afternoon from about 1 until 3:30 p.m. They get to play their video games and watch TV and stuff. And that allows me some closed door time in my office. So I usually will schedule most appointments and calls and, client coaching and things like that during that time because it's quiet.
I love it. You're actually time blocking.
Yes, I know.
The electronics. I love the electronics hour. That's a really great way to put it. And by the way, thank your husband for his service.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I forgot that you are a military wife.
Yeah.
That, as that there is no options when that's happening. You have to fit it in. And I love it that you are the flexible one. Okay.
Yes. Well, that's why we work from home, I think. That's why I work from home anyways, is I want to be here with my kids. I want to spend time with them. And, I love how being an entrepreneur allows you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And wow. So you're a military wife, you homeschool your kids, you have businesses, online businesses. You are a working woman. Okay. You are an entrepreneur working from home. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to your workspace, because I know you have developed a fantastic workspace for yourself. But what are your best tips on creating an effective workspace for others? Talk about how you set up your home office a little.
Yeah. So I joke that I have 2 home offices. One is an actual office upstairs. It's, door closed, everything like that. So I love doing, that's where I do my client calls and, anything that has to do with like payments or like I have to really be able to focus. I make sure that I do it up there. But I also say my second office is actually my go bag is what I call it. Because we are so on the move with gymnastics and, all these different things. Her practices are 4 hours a day. So, there are some times when I am literally working from the bleachers. So actually this is my go bag right here.
I love it. And what's in your go bag?
I know what's in my go bag. Well, I used it as a weekend bag because I had a little getaway weekend. So I can't show you all the fun stuff that I usually have in here. But my laptop goes in there. My planner goes in there. I have a very comprehensive Enneagram book since I'm an Enneagram coach. So I always like to have that handy. That is in there. Did I say my planner and then notebook and a variety of pens?
And I bet you're using the one notebook system like we've talked about for years.
Yes, that is a lifesaver. Yes. 12 years later, still the one notebook system.
That's wonderful. So you're on the go is your little on the go office, and then your office. You have two businesses. So, is each business separated? How does that work?
That's a really good question. I feel like I'm still navigating that. I tend to, one of my direct sales business, I've been doing it for so long that so much of it is just second nature. And, I use different tools available to me for that, like project broadcast, email marketing, a lot of stuff that I used to do paper and have binders and, files and all this stuff for. I've really condensed it down, right? Especially because we could potentially be moving at any point in time. It's just easier to have it all on my laptop. And because I take this with me literally everywhere I go, I never know when it's gonna, an opportunity is going to strike. So I try to have, my desk relatively clean most of the time. So, I can easily sit down and I'm not distracted by things. But, I'll say, I work a lot on social media with the Enneagram and with lemongrass. And so, my phone, something that, I do is I'm just constantly, kind of not constantly, but regularly, consistently taking B-roll footage, and stuff like that so that I'm able to just, when the opportunity strikes or when I sit down to get my work done, I have everything I need, right here or on my laptop. So everything is relatively digital for me for both businesses at this point in time and just kind of organized by folders.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It works for you. And that's important. And you've worked it out. The time you do have to work on your business and the time you don't have to work on your business, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I need to just have everything at my fingertips. So, when I have even 5 to 10 extra minutes, because I'm always happy to do more. Right. But even when the extra 5 to 10 minutes, like, oh, I have just enough time to get one reel in and everything's at my fingertips. It doesn't matter, where I'm at. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I can easily hop in and do that.
It's what I call that 15-minute magic. You have 15 minutes. What am I going to do in this 15 minutes that's going to promote my business forward, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. When you spend too much time trying to figure out what you're going to do in your 15 minutes, it's gone.
Do you work with a to-do list at all?
I do. So I use my planner quite a bit. And, I'm more successful. I'll say I'm more successful when I use my planner with maximizing my time. Some days some weeks it gets crazy and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't utilize this at all. No wonder I feel overwhelmed and behind. Right. But I definitely love putting, 3 to 5. I try just to do 3 to 5 things on my to-do list for business every single day. And then I have like an overflow column for the week, just for when opportunity does, strike. When my kids unexpectedly go play with a friend or go hang out or something, I always use that time. I'd way rather work on my business than wash dishes. Like, or fold laundry. So that way, all I have to do is open up my planner and it's instantly like, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do, as opposed to sitting around, trying to dump everything out of my brain and start from scratch.
I love it. I love it. So you're really somebody who can follow your to-do list, which is great. A lot of people write it down and forget about it, but it's following the to-do list. I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think having it where it is, right? Like if you just write it down on stickies or you just write it on random pieces of paper, like that's going to end up in the trash or the dog's going to eat it or something, but
exactly. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch things up here a little bit because I'm going to talk a little bit about how you stay connected because, you and I have known each other since you were in Okinawa, right?
Yeah.
That's where we first met, and we have stayed connected over the years. So what is your key to staying connected with your team, with clients, with your marketing, and if you want to add in any favorite communication tools or strategies that you'd like to share as well?
Yeah. So, getting consistent with newsletters, which I learned from you. Getting consistent with email marketing, that is something that has only grown, I feel like, over time, right? So, every month I'm getting more and more feedback and more customer communication and even team communications through emails. Text message marketing is huge as well. So I use Project Broadcast multiple times a week with my teams and my customers and my coaching clients. So that has been so instrumental. I think I looked at my contacts and I have almost like 6,500 at this point. So there's just no way to remember all of that or write all of that down in a productive way. So thankful for the email list. So thankful for Project Broadcast because it's really helped me organize who likes what. So for, my spa, customers, they're all tagged in Project Broadcast. So I know what products they like, what products they order. I know what they're interested in. My Enneagram clients as well. I know if they were just, interested in my basic free guide or if they wanted to, if they signed up for one of my coaching programs or something. So every single thing is tagged. So I know exactly who I'm speaking to and what I need to say to them. And it just saves, I think, so much time.
Do you use Project Broadcast for your email marketing as well?
They don't have email yet. So I'm using my lemongrass back office for that. And I've just been, my Enneagram client list is smaller at the moment. So I'm still able to operate out of my basic Gmail at this point, but I'll be moving towards bigger, better things over the next month or so.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. With that many customers and team members, that's a lot of people. And having a tool like Project Broadcast is really very, very effective for you. It sounds like it's working really well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been so helpful.
With connections, do you get out of the house? Do you, meet people? Do you for, face to face, or do you belong to networking groups? What else do you do when you keep in touch with people?
I do so much online right now. I'm such like a social butterfly. It is so in my heart to go out in the world and do all the things. But with our crazy schedule, there's just not a lot of opportunities that I have come across just with where we are right now. So I do a lot online. Which is actually really great being in the military world. I have so many connections all over the world. So, it's a little bit different, I think, for me in that sense. But I mean, of course, I've connected with a handful of other homeschooling moms and, sometimes there's military family meetups and of course the gym moms, we see each other almost every day, 365 days a year, So, definitely have gone out and made friends and stuff. And over time, some of those friends have, stayed friends, obviously, but also became customers or coaching clients and stuff like that. But I do so much online.
It's wonderful. As a military wife and as a military family, you do move around. Like we first met in Okinawa and you've moved, I think, twice since we known each other. Yes. And So given all of that, what do you think your biggest challenges are that you face as an entrepreneur working from home? And how do you overcome them?
Oh my gosh. So many. I know. I'm just so many challenges. I mean, I could really list out everything from, just having to be the flexible one always, right? That is always a huge challenge. Having a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old, right? That's a pretty big age gap. So I always feel like as a mom, I'm standing in 2 different stages of development all the time, completely different needs in a way. I've got 3 dogs. So sometimes, I'll be wanting to record a video and all of a sudden they're going at it, roughhousing in the background and I have to start all over again. So I think the challenge is that there are going to be distractions and there are going to be challenges that you have to overcome. And I think that can look very similar, but also very different for everybody who works from home. I think the way that you overcome them is you kind of just name them and you find your grit and you find your persistence and just you one foot in front of the other, right? Like one foot in front of the other. I've had seasons where I can sit down and I can work at my family kitchen table. And I've had seasons where I had to schedule myself to go to a coffee shop 2 evenings a week, right. And be in a different environment. Sometimes I'm working at the gym in the bleachers, like I said, and other times I'm locked up in my office, so I think having the biggest challenge is accepting the challenge, accepting that they're always going to be there, right? You're never going to completely overcome every single challenge that you have. You're never going to just be sailing,
I think, you have just given such great advice to moms, to entrepreneurs who work from home. Mm-hmm. It is all about your mindset.
Yes.
And that's what you're talking about is accepting what is and being able to move forward and being able to overcome it or move around it or whatever it takes mm-hmm. to get over a challenge that's presenting itself. That's just wonderful advice for people. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's move into productivity. Okay. What kind of hacks or tips or techniques that you found useful working from home as an entrepreneur? I mean, you said you kind of alluded to a lot of things along the way, but does anything in particular stand out for you?
Kind of what we talked about earlier, honestly, is doing like a brain dump. I try to do, this once a week, once a month, once a week. Sometimes I need to do it every day, just depending on what is going on with the family, right? We have there's so many lanes that are running through our brains all the time. And sometimes you just have to get it all out on paper. For me, because my brain is just constantly on the move all the time. It is super helpful to put those lanes down and actually categorize it. Half the time I'll realize things that are taking up space in my brain. One, it's taking away productivity from the important things. But 2, it's actually not that important. It's really not that important.
In the long run, what's really important, right?
Yes, yeah. Right. Well, and sometimes it's like, this would be nice, but is it essential this week? Right? Like if it's like, this is pulling on me, I really want to do this. I would really love to get, started on this project. I can put it in my calendar 2, 3, 4 months down the line. Right? Like I can plan on doing it later. It's not that I have to get rid of it, but it also doesn't mean I have to do it right now. So right. I think I find a lot of clarity getting it on paper. And then again, just scheduling 3 to 5 things a day. Let that be enough, right? Yeah. Let that be enough. Because if you work from home, you could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you'll die. Like you won't survive that. So, if then have your overflow list. I love having my overflow list because I actually do recognize when I have clarity, I have my to-do list, everything, I can open up my planner and know exactly what I'm doing today. Then it's not like, oh, what do I have to do? Oh no, I'm wasting my time. Oh my gosh, what I'm going to miss out. Right. And I find I actually do have more time to be productive.
How often do you use that overflow? I love that overflow
all the time. I know, always, because my schedule is so flexible. it's always changing. The challenge is it always changes. My husband could call me at 8:00 in the morning and say, I'm supposed to be home in 30 minutes, but I was told 5 minutes ago I have to stay for this 2-hour meeting. Right. So if I had things planned, I have to bribe my daughter to babysit or I have to reschedule, right? I only ask for to babysit if I have like a client call,
Right.
But otherwise I can always adjust. So it's like, that's the challenge, but that's also the beauty, because when it's all written down, it's easy for me to go into that overflow list, because sometimes the opposite happens. Sometimes I think I'm only going to get 2 hours and instead I get 4 hours. And so I can easily tap into that. Or, we're at gymnastics and my son is playing with the other gym siblings, and I can easily pull up my computer, open up my phone, grab my planner, and just get going on the next activity.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. The overflow list is a great way, because you've got exactly what you need to get done. As you say, your 3 to 5 things a day. Mm-hmm. And then if there is time, it does happen, because you're so flexible,
right.
You're able to get ahead of the game a little with
yes.
Yeah, I love it. Let's talk a little bit about distractions. I can imagine with your life, you get a lot of distractions that you encounter. Do you find ways to minimize those distractions or eliminate them? And I'm talking basically while you're working, okay? Mm-hmm. Trying to get something done. What do you think? And I know kids interrupt you and all of that, and I'm sure you've got a million things you do for those kids so you can get things done. But how do you handle those kind of distractions?
Yeah, I will say, and I think probably everybody agrees with this, is I work on social media, and sometimes the most distracting thing is social media. Right? Like it knows me so well. I'll open up Instagram or I'll open up Facebook and I'll go to post a reel. I'll go to create a reel. And then like instantly something catches my eye and 15 minutes goes by and I'm like, oh no, wait, my 15 minutes is up. So, I think for me, that is one of the biggest distractions. Because there's a difference in, intentionally working the algorithm and getting lost in Taylor Swift or coffee and cat videos, right? So it's kind of, I say you have to make, I try to be really aware of that. Sometimes people will set a timer and they'll scroll for a certain amount of time. When the timer goes off, they get to work. What I really started training myself to do, which works probably 75% of the time, is be very intentional and actually say out loud, I'm going to create a reel on XYZ. And so what I try to do before I even open up my phone is I have kind of a content list. That's just an ever-going section of my notes on my phone, because you never know when inspiration is going to hit. So between that, I utilize ChatGPT. I copy and paste a lot of stuff over. So I do just love having that running content list going as well. But when I sit down at my desk and I open my computer and I have that up on the screen and then I open up my phone, it's almost something that is really like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to create a reel on Enneagram type 1s and their core fears or their productivity hacks or, things like that. So it just like almost speaking to myself tells me what I'm going to do.
I love it. So that content list that you have, that's on your computer?
It's on, so I'm an Apple girl. So it's on my computer and my phone. The notes are shared.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So it's just the notes app.
Yeah, so you're able to share. I love that. I was just trying to imagine how that was all going on. And I love the way you set that up. That's really great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay. Big deep breaths. One question here. What do you think is the best way you maintain a healthy work-life balance? You're the girl that's the mom, the military mom, the gym mom. You've got it all going. Okay. What do you think is, the one thing that helps you maintain that healthy work-life balance?
Well, so we operate off of a family calendar. And this is actually not digital. We have a physical chalkboard. I'm looking at it right now, a big chalkboard calendar that, we run as a family. I definitely, I don't do it all by myself. My spouse is super supportive. He's super involved, and it's a priority. My business it's a business. It's not just extra money. I mean, it's how we pay for our house, And so it's a priority for both of us. And so I think that, one, I make sure that my business doesn't get lost in the shuffle of day-to-day family life because we operate off of that. I've gotten as consistent as I can with my afternoon time, with my time blocking. So the whole family unit really expects that and understands that at this point. Plus, like, they are always so thrilled. And I'm like, go play Nintendo. That's a special time for them. Also I think the flip side is also true, because I think entrepreneurs and people, those of us who work from home, we can very easily get so sucked into our work that our personal life and our family life suffers as well. So, when I'm time blocking, I'm also looking at the week and thinking, what fun are we having as a family? What am I just doing special with my kids while, Johnny's on shift at work? When are some opportunities that I could schedule in, that he can go and have some special time with the kids? We've dubbed Thursday nights as our date nights, so we've really done time blocking for my business, but also a little bit for our family, because it is too easy for every free moment we have to want to go and work, I think, or it is for me anyways, because I love what I do so much. But it's important to schedule that fun. And I think that does create a nice balance or harmony for the whole family unit.
I love it. And I'm sure the kids are writing things in there as well. So they're
no, they're not allowed.
Oh, they're not allowed. Oh, that's interesting.
It is a Don't
I love it. So there's no scribbles. There's no scribbles on that board.
No, well, so my son, he knows that, when I first go to erase one month and then I'm making up the set before I make up the next month, he sees those chalk markers come out, and he grabs a chair, he comes over, and I let him color all over it while it's blank. And then a few hours later, I'll come back and erase it all. And then I have to very quickly put all of our stuff in there and shove it back up on the wall before anybody sees me. Like, this is not a group project. This is mine.
I love it. I love it. That is so great. That's another great tip for, I would have said, let the kids all get in there and get involved and do things, but no, I think
you're not touched. Yeah. My daughter did it one time, and I'm like, why did you do this? Why did you do this?
I love it. I love it. Okay. So now I know that you are continually learning, and you're continually getting involved with professional development. Mm-hmm. So what is it you like to do? Do you like to take courses? How do you fit that into your busy life? Sure. But if you want any online resources or that you might recommend.
Yeah, I have a few thoughts. I love to try at least maybe like 2 to 4 times a month and attend some kind of a formal training that is going to, help me learn something about the industry that I am in. There's so much free content out there. There's so much free content or low dollar investments out there just for that continued education. I love trying to, my big tip is keep a variety, right? Sometimes it's good to hear new voices, new perspectives, new experiences, even if it's on the same topic. We have to hear things like 8 times before it actually sticks. So yes. I think that's super helpful. And, I am a big audio. I recognize myself. I struggle to sit down and read. It's really hard for me to focus on that, but I can listen to audiobooks. I can listen to YouTube channels in the background. So, I really try, even when I'm just putting my makeup on in the morning or on my hair wash days, if I'm curling my hair and stuff like that, I always try to have an audiobook running or, some kind of a podcast running that is geared towards, Enneagram education or digital marketing or social media management, or different tools that I use in my businesses, that are going to help me succeed. So there's just kind of this constant conversation coming in my head.
I think that's so important because you believe in professional development. I mean, we were coaching for years ourselves. You believed in investing in yourself.
Yes.
I think that is really important as an entrepreneur who works from home, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. There's too many distractions. It's too hard. You need the support.
You need that support. That's what it's all about, is getting that support. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you share with us why you love being an entrepreneur working from home? Tell us where people can connect with you. Tell us about the products and services that you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. My gosh, I just think I was born with an entrepreneurial spirit. I love the fast-paced world of being an entrepreneur. I actually enjoy the continued education, just how things tweak and pivot and change. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. I love marketing and sales and just the psychology behind it. I mean, it just feels like a perfect fit, honestly. And of course, it was really important to me to be a present mom. I found direct sales when I had an 18-month-old daughter and found myself living in Okinawa, Japan, right? I just wanted to bring in a little extra income that was going to benefit my family and not take time really away from my family. So that's where direct sales came in. And 12 and a half years later, I still do that. I still absolutely love non-toxic skincare, body care through lemongrass. But one thing I really unexpectedly fell in love with was coaching people, was working with other business owners, was helping them find themselves and find their potential, just honestly, like you did for me. It was really inspiring. So that is really where Enneagram coaching came in for me too, was as a leader, really looking for ways to support other people and help them find systems and, tips and, hacks that were going to work specifically for the way that their brain was actually wired. And so Enneagram was really just this like final layer on, this new venture that I am on. And it's been so fun. It's been so fun working with, individuals who just want to personally and professionally grow, be more self-aware, understand themselves, their partners, their kids even better. It just so happens most of my clients are actual business owners.
Wouldn't it? How many Enneagrams are there?
So there are 9 different types. And so the Enneagram, like I think everyone's pretty familiar with personality tests.
Right.
There's DISC, there's Myers-Briggs, there's the colors and all those different things. What is so interesting about the Enneagram to me is that it actually deals with your core motivations as a person. So there are 9 different sets of core motivations, and that can, manifest differently in individuals. There's many layers. I would say the Enneagram is like an onion, but it's more than your traits and your behaviors and your characteristics. It actually dives into the why behind those things.
Wow. So that is so fascinating. And I'm sure that we will leave, you have a guide to that, right?
I do. Yeah. So I do have a free Enneagram 101 guide. So whether you're new to the Enneagram or you've been around it a little bit, you'll find it valuable. So I do have a free guide that you can get with that. I also really specialize in marketing and social media branding through the Enneagram for people who work from home, for entrepreneurs, influencers, whatever your industry is. It's really neat when you can kind of declutter the noise of branding and of how you show up in your marketing when you can tap into those core motivations. So I also have a free course, a free webinar on social media branding and digital marketing. 101 is what it is. So I'll definitely get you the link to those. Would love for you to check those out. And then of course I do typing sessions. If you want to know what type you are, we can work through that. Or, all the way through if you're a business owner and you want to talk about your marketing strategy through the Enneagram and how to communicate better with your team members. So many opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, Kim. Wow. This has just been so interesting to learn more about the Enneagram. And I love all your tips on how you work from home, being a really busy military mom with kids in gymnastics and a little one, and all that you do. So I really want to thank you for being here today. And I will link all of your links in the description below. Okay.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. As entrepreneurs who work from home, we do live in a digital world. And Kim has given us some great tips and insights into handling life and 2 businesses as a busy military wife and mom. Didn't you love the tip about family calendar? I hope you enjoyed this interview and learned a lot of valuable insights. Kim had some great quotes that she shared with us today. I want you to comment below and let me know which was your favorite tip that you learned today. And come back for more interviews coming up in this series on expert tips for success from entrepreneurs who work from home. And I'll see you on the next video.